First one we know of involves a young girl who was actually a tomboy. And it's my understanding she was sexually abused by Mr. Jackson in the mid-1980s. And he ended up paying her a settlement in the range of about $900,000. And it was paid by his companies.
Did you have many girlfriends through your adolescence?
Not a lot. I did. My first girlfriend, who I really loved a lot, was Tatum O'Neal.
And was it a typically romantic adolescent love affair?
Yeah, it was. But I don't think I was ready for some of the things she was talking about. I was pretty naive, I'm not joking. I hope she forgives me for telling this story. Okay, Tatum, please forgive me. I remember her telling me to come over to the house, to her house. They have a Beverly Hills house too. And what she's going to do to me when I come. You know, all the...
Well, what did she say?
All the sexual stuff. So I'm scared to death.
So she rings you and says, Michael, come to my house. I'm going to make love to you.
Yeah.
And you're really scared?
I'm scared. Scared because I've never done anything like that. I came over there trying to be Mr. Big Shot and brave. I remember she cut off all the lights in her bedroom, opened the curtains. You can see the whole skyline of the city over the cliff. It was beautiful. And she told me to go over and lie on the bed, and I did. I laid on the bed. And she slowly walked over, and she touched the button of my shirt to open it, and I took my hands like this, and I wouldn't let him down. And she just walked away. She knew I was too shy for it. That's what happened.
Did you not feel tempted at all? You just felt frightened?
I was frightened. I was afraid. I didn't think I was ready for that.
It saddens me that many actually believe the present flurry of false accusations. To this end, and we do mean end, no, I have never taken hormones to maintain my high voice. No, I have never had my cheekbones altered in any way. No, I have never had cosmetic surgery on my eyes. Yes, one day in the future, I plan to get married and have a family. Any statements to the contrary are simply untrue.
The spokesman also said the singer will take legal action against anyone who continues to spread this untrue information.
Marie Nicole Port, now 37, said she was 12 the first time Mr. Jackson abused her inside her family home, where he stayed for months following the September 11th attacks. Mr. Jackson, she said, would have her spread her legs and sometimes masturbated while looking at her naked.
And so he said, "Can you please undress for me?" So I did. I was 12 years old, and he asked me to spread my legs, and he asked to look at my vagina, and he proceeded to go close to it, and he sniffed it, he looked at it, and he admired it, and was like, wow.
Was he naked as well?
At that time, he just took out his penis, but showed it to me, and then that was it, that first meeting.
He would always say to us that, you know, we were his second family. He made us feel like we mattered so deeply to him, and eventually when he had his children, he at times would even say to kind of call him his, like a father. Like he wanted us to call him daddy at certain times, you know, because he felt like he was that figure in our lives. And he trained us to be his soldiers, to make sure that we knew the severity of what could happen if we ever discussed what happened behind closed doors.
What would happen?
That he would, something would happen to him, my family, my siblings, and, you know, that fear alone, you know, that scared me. When my brother Aldo came forward and spoke about, you know, the documentary being true to what happened to him as well, I started to just realize too that I had like a shock. It was a shock even for me, but those old feelings started to come up, and I realized, oh my God, he was a monster. He did this to so many people in different ways. And once he came forward, my anxiety was, you know, it was time for me to start thinking about how I was going to share to my parents and my siblings that, you know, what had happened to me.
Pop star Michael Jackson is now under arrest and at this hour is in the custody of the Santa Barbara, California Sheriff's Department.
One of the most famous celebrity arrests of all time, the late Michael Jackson, turning himself in to police at a Santa Barbara airplane hangar.
When Michael Jackson was arrested, his mugshot was taken, he was fingerprinted, he gave up his passport, and he was released on $3 million bond.
His lawyer called the charges that could send Jackson away to prison for years a big lie.
If anybody doesn't think, based upon what's happened so far, that the true motivation of these charges and these allegations is anything but money and the seeking of money, then they're living in their own Neverland.
Jackson faces 9 charges total, 7 for committing a lewd act on a child under 14, and 2 for giving the child an intoxicating agent for the purpose of molestation.
He's come back specifically to confront these charges head on. He is greatly outraged by the bringing of these charges. He considers this to be a big lie. We are going to, and I've been given full authority, we will land on you like a ton of bricks. We will land on you like a hammer. If you do anything to besmirch this man's reputation, anything to intrude on his privacy in any way that's actionable, we will unleash a legal torrent like you've never seen.
"12-year-old Gavin and his brother and sister."
He testified in front of the grand jury as a witness.
Okay, good. Now, were there any incidents where you were in a room, in Michael Jackson's room, and had discussions with...
Oh, yes.
And...
That was like the night my brother was acting funny, and like, It was kind of weird. Michael's packing his bags, and then I walked in, and John was sitting down.
This was before he walked out, acting funny.
And I think so, and like Michael was acting funny, and I think so. And Michael was like, "Oh, you look so fine. I want to..." He was saying this to marry Nicole. "Oh, you look so fine. I want to F-U-C-K-U in the back."
How old is Mary?
14.
He said this to her?
Yes. Baby Rubba was inside the room while we were in there.
I couldn't hear you.
Baby Rubba was also inside the room while we were in there.
Wonderful thing about being a lawyer is that you can, and a lawyer for this estate, is that you can get up in a courtroom and you can call people liars who you paid a large amount of money to when they had no lawyers, and then afterwards you can make all kinds of accusations, and because you're standing inside of the courtroom you get privilege because of that. So it's one of the wonderful things about the law, that you can defame or somebody in a courtroom, but there's no consequence for that. The facts are that the estate has been covering up this kinds of stuff for years. They covered it up when I represented him 20 years ago. They covered it up. They had these. They hid it away. I mean, this is all about the estate trying to keep making money. If I were the beneficiaries of the estate, in a weird way, they should be appalled at what's happening to the estate, which they're supposedly the beneficiaries of.
When I was retained by the Cascio family, the first thing I did was have each of the 5 siblings give me sworn testimony on video. I ended up with 10 hours of testimony detailing the horrific abuse they suffered at the hands of Michael Jackson.
In the lawsuit filed against the Michael Jackson companies, including estate attorney Brian Friedman, in February 2026, the Cassios say that Brian Friedman and other attorneys at the estate had knowledge that Michael Jackson had abused them for decades. After the Leaving Neverland documentary was aired, the estate was working with a private detective called Herman Weisberg, who the Cassios thought was a friend and thought they could trust. And it was him who arranged a meeting at the Sunset Marquis Hotel in West Hollywood between Brian Friedman and Frank Cassio, where Brian Friedman was asked to come in his swimwear so he couldn't wear a wire. Even their mum, Conchetta Cassio, has signed a declaration under penalty of perjury that in 2019, Friedman, Howard Weitzman, and Herman Weisberg travelled to her home in New Jersey to meet with her and her husband while they ate her food and drank their wine for hours, and apologised for Jackson's SA of all her children. She stated that Friedman and Weitzman got emotional, but now they're saying this was all made up to get money out of the estate. It doesn't add up. In one of the latest filings that I read through on my live stream, someone is lying. They claimed Friedman and Weitzman told Frank Cassio, who was represented by Mark Garagos, that Jackson had abused others, including another girl. I also read out the following from the documents in a live stream. In 2019, Friedman told Mary Nicole he found her story particularly compelling because others had witnessed Jackson essaying her. In 2024, he even referred to Mary Nicole as extremely believable and a beautiful woman inside and out.
He realized that, he went through an entire family and ruined an entire family.
So, your brother's coming, then you're coming. What's happening next? You're coming after you came out of
and then I came forward, and my parents had said to me, did something happen to you too? And I said yes.